Welcome one and all, I am SocioPsycho, and today we'll be looking at AntiSquad, a game by INS Games. Now, what this entails is you are in control of a small mercenary, military, tactical response squad, and you go through maps controlling these in a tactical, turn-based situation. Now, before we get to that, let's look at the options menu. Now, one thing that is to note about the options menu is it's split up in two. When you launch the game from your desktop or from Steam, you'll notice that a window will pop up offering you a graphic setting options and resolutions. Now, the resolutions is very varied and it's nice. The graphics of this game are not very demanding and it's pretty simplistic. They look nice, don't get me wrong, but there's not really a huge wavelength of options to choose from. You have fast, beautiful, and fantastic. And on the page, you also have the input commands for the key bindings. Now, I didn't see a way to actually be able to rebind the keys, and having those options implemented into the game would also be nice, because in the game options themselves, all you really have is the in-game options, such as animation speed, which makes combat go a little bit faster, but still looks clean. If it had a faster speed, I would put it up there. The sound, now here's one thing, the music and the sound, this game has some really good music, and that is to be noted. It has this early 60s, 70s I'm a spy, which is kind of ironic because it has nothing to do about spies, but it has this like James Bond sort of Mr. Bean feel to it. But it works, you know, the music works and it's not bad at all. The controls for such are very receptive. One slider, you obviously hear a difference, and that's an issue a lot of games have with the sliders and the music controls, but this one has really hit that on the head. You have the indications, which is in-game notifications, allowing you to better be aware of the field and everything else, and who's moving where, and how much range does the enemy have before it can hit you. It makes the tactical aspect of it more manageable instead of being left out in the dark. So these are pretty important. You have your share, Steam. Now, I will say that this is in early access on Steam for $4 right now, and it plays very well. I've noticed very little wrong with it, and woes will be flushed out, and I'm quite impressed. And my one issue was, like I was saying, okay, $4, early access, what's up with this? It's just going to be another, but this actually has some surprises and some actually decent mechanics to it, which is worth looking into if you like these styles of games. So credits, obviously, useful information, goes into a sort of a help tutorial into understanding all of the interfaces and icons. Achievements, now this is one thing that surprised me too. There are a lot of achievements in this game. We scroll all the way down. Now most of these, or some at least, are, hey, I completed a mission, congratulations. But there are definitely some that say you have to do a certain way or complete this in a certain fashion, and there's a lot of them. And it's the same thing if we look over at challenges. Challenges are ways to keep you challenged. Your team must eliminate 3 enemies in the following order: scout, assault, sniper during a mission. Kill for a specific item. And there's plenty of these. The more I've done, the more that's unlocked. So I'm not sure exactly how many there are, but it's something that's interesting because it's a challenge. It adds a level of replayability. And with your achievements, you can actually share them on your Facebook and all that other stuff if you're into all that, and that's fine. Now, when we actually go into the game here, the biggest part of this is actually creating, or maybe not even, you don't really create your character, but leveling up and empowering your characters so it's even more fun to play them. As we look right here, we have a mission selection screen. We have the tutorial campaign, a little drug cartel campaign, this one, and another one. Now I'm sure as time goes by they will put in more options. Obviously they want their game to succeed, so they'll continue to add more stuff to it. Now from what I can tell you is that when you select a mission, we go right here. Now this brings up the character selection screen. Your squad will assemble of 3 different characters. You start off with 5, and you can hire 3 more, all from the in-game currency. And each character has a different capability, such as her. She has acid burn, which removes enemy armor. She has a smoke screen. very helpful. Pops up a smoke for 2 turns. He's a sniper with sprint and neutralization, which takes away the enemy's, takes away a part of the enemy's movement points. And so as you see, they have different abilities, and you can upgrade these abilities, upgrade the gear. And one thing about the gear upgrading, which is nice, as we go into here, and you see, okay, so you have different, this is what she can carry. If her gear is better equipped, she can carry up to 3 slots. So we're going to here, we can see all the different outfits, and these outfits increase the in the way they look, but they also, cost a bit to get that. And you might think, oh, that's a lot of money. How am I gonna get that? Well, it's not all that bad. I mean, you get what you need pretty easily if you play on harder settings with no problem. We have weaponry, increase your weaponry, and consumables. So there's plenty of options to upgrade your character, equip them with items that may be relevant. But one thing that I like is once you change the way your character looks, it will show on the main screen. So this main screen here, so if you haven't played in a while, you come in and you're like, oh, hey, I remember. Your character is like, hey, I'm all badass, let's go kill stuff. And you already feel that connection of all that time you put in previously, which is nice. Now when we get to the meat of it, the grinds, the bone, I have up to 3 characters, and we go into difficulty selecting. Obviously, I didn't mean to pick easy. Whoops. Different settings, different levels of difficulty will have different parameters. There'll be a different variation of troops. There'll be a different variation of how many of those troops have armor. Now, from what I can tell, the difference in level scale makes a difference in the troop count and also the armor count. So the higher the level of difficulty, the more troops and armor they'd have. So we were on easy before, now we have it on hard. Skip that little story part. Story in this is enough to propel you in this world, but it's really nothing all that exciting, and let's be honest, we're not here for the story in the first place. So before, whereas only a few people had armor, now on this setting, everyone has at least 1 armor shield. Instead of 2 guys here, now there's 3 guys. So that's how the difficulty scales, and it actually works pretty nice. You can play some missions on the hell setting, and it might take you a turn, a playthrough or 2 to actually find a way that works. And having different characters into the game makes all the difference, because what works with one character may not work with another. And so I find myself excited in a way to continue to play, because I want to see what the next person's ability is. I want to know, if I unlock one of those other characters and I have one of their abilities, how well will that ability work in a certain tactical sense that I want to use? Now, when it comes to combat itself, it's turn-based. It was a smoke screen. I popped a smoke screen. I don't mean to be going too fast. The smoke screen, you can't shoot randomly. You have to shoot at an enemy, and they can't see you in a smoke screen. So that's why they'll more likely move closer to you and use up their ability points, their movement points. Thus, we went right over here to attack this guy now. Click on him with her, and we attack. Now, if he had ability points, he will counter our attack. And due to her capability and weaponry, she was able to almost finish him off. See, he'll have 30 points left over if we move him down there. So let's move him here, and we attack. Breaks off the armor. So what's the faults and the positives of this game? Well, the positive is you get a lot for $4. If you enjoy these type of games, you're going to get at least 2 hours of enjoyment, if not more, from it, depending on how much more content they put out in the future and everything else. The cons that I've found so far in this game is it doesn't really have a cover system. Now, to make up for the cover system, they have an armor system, as you see here. It absorbs damage, as you've witnessed. And it's not smart, but we'll end our turn right here so you can see what happens. So the sounds move those guys up to attack us. And what I mean by there's no cover option is, you see all these rocks. I can't lay on the ground, I can't kneel, I can't sit behind them. The best I can do is try to move out of line of sight of some of these troops, but it doesn't actually help me. See, she almost got killed against him, but perhaps if I didn't have enough points to move yet, I could have hid in this little corner here and laid down, and he might not have hit me. But it's very square and tile based, So the issue is not so much like, oh, it's square and tile based, but you have to work around that because there is no cover system, and that's perhaps what we're used to. So instead it seems more like I need to hit you before you hit me, because there's no way that you're not going to hit me. You can only armor somebody up so much. Cover allows the terrain to take that damage away for them, in chance of taking damage yourself. With no cover system, what happens is that you end up with I need to try to tire them out or kill them before they kill me, which there are tactics to itself, but I'm just saying with no cover system, you have to be aware of that. Now when we look here, that little gem, the bullet on a coin, is the in-game currency. You gain in-game currency from killing the enemies and looting the corpses. Now the corpses will loot by themselves at the end of a turn in case you forget anybody. And if the enemy loots a corpse, you still get the money, but if an item drops, a consumable, they will take the consumable instead. Now we move him up to 50, so he's just got an ability there from his corpse, and we can knife him. Now I think that's a bug, but I could be wrong. But he's gotten back his ability points, he's gotten back 30 ability points after he's killed somebody. It might be an ability, but I haven't been able to find any lore or items that would say that's what happens. As when you go into this screen, you have an understanding of what the enemy is, their statistics, and so you can, if you have a question about a character, how much health they have, how much health shows when you click on the name, but how much movement points they have, which is right here as well, or other things that you may be curious about, that's what you can do. Or even if you just want to know his backstory, like, hey, yo boy, what's your life story? And here you go. I think one thing this game could have done better is had the customizational ability to create your own character. Even if it was one of their own pre-designed skins, I mean, I don't care. I'm not gonna have to have my character look a certain way, you know. One of 5 pre-designed characters, but I get to choose his health, his special ability, and all this other stuff. That would allow so much more connection with my character than I currently have. Because right now I have no really emotional connection to the game. It's just I'm using expendable troops as I see them to clean out a mission, and that's that. And so, in closing, different units you can take in, as well as the different levels of difficulty, all add to replayability, difficulty, and so the question comes down to the end, and is this game worth your time? And the answer simplistically is yes. If you enjoy strategy games, this will be one that you may enjoy as well. It's not going to be one that you're going to write home about and game of the year, but it's one that will make you smile when something goes just right and make you think when something doesn't go right. It's a passing grade in my book. I have been SocioPsycho. Thank you everybody for listening, and I'll see you next time.